Hey everybody, Jessica Morrison, Realtor with Ferris Property Group in Indianapolis, Indiana. We are back to do another builder interview where I help connect you as an audience with new construction opportunities across central Indiana. This time we're heading to Lebanon, and we have the honor of sitting back down with Amy Cipolla and Fischer Homes to talk about their Cedar Ridge community. Amy, how are you today?
I am great. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, it's a pleasure. And, Lebanon as an area I think it's going to be quite under the radar for a bit. There's a lot of new development commercially coming to the area that I'm sure you'd be happy to speak into. But I think this is one of those areas that people should really keep an eye on. And if you're considering new construction, this may be a really good time to get in to see some appreciation. So tell us a bit about Lebanon and just what makes this community great.
Yeah, so Lebanon definitely is going to be an up and coming area with kind of how Indy's just been expanding in general. This is kind of the next stop. So I know kind of similar areas are close to that, Zionsville, Whitestown. Over the last 2 years, those have really taken off. So Lebanon's kind of right in there with that. And actually, Whitestown, a lot of the people in Whitestown go to Lebanon schools. So it's really, like I said, up and coming area. It's kind of has like a small town vibe to it. So it's going to be, very small, quaint little downtown area. Our community is very close to that. So I've been down there quite a bit, really nice restaurants. Then it's also a lot bigger than you would think. So there's actually multiple golf courses, of course, lots of cornfields being in Indiana, and a lot of areas that are going to be soon to be developed.
There we go. Yes, so we've got, I'm not sure exactly where the approval process is for it, but I know that there's a big bike, like adventure park coming in on the south side of Lebanon. Eli Lilly has plans for 6,000 acres on the west side of 65
Yep.
there. Do you know if that Texas Roadhouse is still on the docket?
It probably is. Probably just got moved locations. I mean, there's so many different things that are getting submitted for approval in that area. So yeah, lots up and coming.
Yes, and Henke Development, who has, if you're familiar with the area, completed the Bridgewater community in Westfield, Chatham Hills in Westfield, as well as Holiday Farms, has
Mhm.
vocalized to the public that it's probably they're taking, like they said in the news article with the Indiana Business Journal, that it was a 10 to 15 year, 15 to 20 year out project, but they're potentially looking at acquiring land between Whitestown and Lebanon on the east side of 65. And that community would include a golf course and a bunch of different things, at least at the time of this video. But I know that they've, I think, completed development sooner in Holiday Farms, so they might be heading that direction a little bit sooner. But just, I think if you were to look at an aerial map and what all is going to be changing, that landscape is going to look very different just even 5 years from now. I mean, especially having lived in that area 5 years ago, it was very different. So
Of course, yeah. And 5 years from now, it's going to be built up. And, if there's like a big developer that's done a lot of these great things, if they're trying to relocate and start building there, it's definitely going to be a great area.
sure. So for those who are not from Lebanon, maybe let's talk a bit about the location of Cedar Ridge. What are the amenities that are included? Kind of touch on walkability, local parks, just kind of help paint that picture for us.
Yeah, of course. So I think Cedar Ridge is like the perfect location in Lebanon. So you're like a 2-minute drive. You could really walk to the downtown Lebanon area. So that's where they've got the shops, good restaurants. Of course, that's where all the action is. And then you're also around the same distance to, I forget the name of that local park, but it's a beautiful park that's just north of the downtown area. So it's not far at all from there. But even better, it's walking distance to schools. So, I mean, it's like a mile or less to all of the schools in the surrounding area. So it's perfectly located, but it's still far enough away from everything where it's a little bit more quiet too. So it's kind of if you go to the left, you're in that downtown area, but if you go to the right, you've got cornfields. So it's a perfect location.
Yeah, I'm going to share my screen real quick just to make this interesting. So this is where everybody, at least according to Google, the red dot is where this
Yep.
community is located. And it backs up against the trees, which is just fantastic.
That's exactly where it is.
The park that you mentioned, Lebanon Memorial Park, is right here.
Right there, yes.
And guys, there's a splash park. Like, I don't know how many of you have kids. This is a very affordable seashore water park. Tennis courts, sand volleyball, basketball courts. It's a great park. And then right here, like, I don't know why, especially having lived in Lebanon, there's a golf course in Lebanon, but the way that Lebanon is developed, you don't feel like there's a golf course. So it's very private, very hidden. I've been at events there at Ulan Country Club. It's a gorgeous facility, great views. And then you're downtown, again, starting from your community here. I assume you're going to have an entrance here and then on the south.
Not sure about the south, but we definitely have the entrance where that red dot is.
Okay. But your downtown is generally here. So very easy walk or bike ride from that community. And then taking things farther out, like what we were talking about. So kind of Eli Lilly's talked about being up here. And then I believe that business park and adventure park with trails, or I think they were marketing with like bikes and stuff. We're going to be south here. And then the Henke Development was more in this general area. So I hope that helps visualize, if you're not from the area, what we're talking about. And at the time of this video, like, all of this is in discussions. I'm not sure at what level things are finalized, but I hope that gives you some confidence about the, because if you look farther out, Lebanon's a little bit farther out than some of these other suburbs we talked about, but there's a lot going on. So, okay. So let's say we're sold on the area and school district and all that stuff. Maybe talk about how many home sites you have. What do the floor plans look like? Give us all those details.
Yeah, and I'm actually going to share my screen here and show you our site map. Can you see it okay? Okay, so we are currently developing, and we're going to release this next month at the time of this. So in November, we're releasing the other phase. So phase 2. So that's going to include, I think it's a little over 30 home sites here that we can see. These are going to be some of the best ones. They have the pond. So you've got some pond sites here, and then you've got some tree sites here, and there you can see there's the walking trail. So this is coming soon. What we currently have, we do have homes that are available for immediate move-in, and then just one site left in our current section. So these did sell very quickly. So like I said, it is an up and coming area, and people do want to take advantage of that. So these are the sites that we have coming. And then as far as what homes can be built, I'm going to, hopefully you can see this one now. Yeah. Okay. So this is our website. This is probably the best way. If you can't come in or meet in person, this is the best way to just get a general idea of what we have. So it kind of talks about all the different things that we have in the area. So the country club, that park that we were talking about, and then the schools that are very close. These are the community, or the homes that we have in the community that are going to be ready immediately or before the end of the year. So if you don't want to wait for that build process, we do have a few of these now available. Of course, our model home, you can get a virtual tour of that. Again, if you can't come in person, it's always much better to see in person, but technology definitely helps if you are moving from out of town. And then we've got all of the different floor plans. So starts with the largest floor plan here, the Denali, and then the Jensen, that is our model home. These are all 2-story homes. And then down at the bottom, we'll have our ranch homes as well. So we've got 3 ranch homes here. So starting price as of right now, these are accurate. They could change at any time, up or down, who knows what's happening, but that's kind of where we're at right now for those ones. Again, most of these I can't build currently, but we will be building all of them in that new section that's coming.
How much are you seeing for people in like your starting price? It looked like the bottom was closer to like 270, 280. Which, guys, for new construction, starting prices is very difficult to come by right now. So that's obviously before any upgrades or improvements. So on average, what are you seeing the average family spend in upgrades or improvements in their home for that total price?
Yeah, so in this community, we're really seeing a lot of these homes stay within that 300. If you go into that 400, you are going to put everything you want and need and more into a home. So we're really seeing people stay within that 300 range. It's kind of hard because we really do have a lot of people on both ends of the spectrum. So these are going to be some of our more popular homes, of course, the larger ones. And then on the other end of the spectrum, if you're looking for a ranch home, we've got a lot of people looking at the, or like smaller homes looking at just the ranch plan. So we're kind of seeing like a very in between, right around 350. I would say 330, 350 is kind of what we're seeing. But it really just depends on, you know, what people's budgets are, what they truly want and need to put into their home, and how much they're kind of willing to be flexible with some of those items.
Do you, as a buyer, have the option to build a home with a basement in this community?
So in this community, we are not offering basements. We aren't building on a floodplain, but there is a floodplain close to here. So we are not going to be building that just to minimize the risk. Of course, we want to always think about, you know, future and having these homes last hopefully forever. So we want to make sure that we're not putting any buyer in like a situation where they could experience an issue down the road.
Yes, that's actually very common for those not from Lebanon. Lebanon does have a number of bungalow, like 1920s, very old, or even some in the early or late 1800s, excuse me. And those foundations, you know, were built differently, but there are like, you do have to be very particular about where you buy in Lebanon, or just be very mindful about the integrity of the structure that you're buying. There's a lot of solid built homes in Lebanon. And then I've personally walked through some as investment properties where you could take a marble and roll it across the floor. And that's not to be specific to Lebanon. You just have that anywhere where you just got to be mindful of the floodplain, like Amy talked about, and how well that property's been maintained over the years. So it's not specific again to the area, but just I think that that's very smart on a development aspect. I think there's certainly in areas in Lebanon that you could, if you wanted to build a custom home, could have a basement. You just have to be very mindful about how close that floodway area is. So yeah, I was curious if that qualified or not, and it confirmed my suspicion. So
yes.
Do you have clarity on how many homes are being built that are ranch versus 2-story in your community?
So in right around the area, there's actually, it's almost all ranch homes. So we are offering, or we're seeing quite a bit more ranch homes in this community than some of other communities, but it is still predominantly 2-story homes that are being built. So just on average, what we see in a Fischer home, it's higher, but for the area, I feel like bringing in those 2-story homes, because it is mostly ranch homes in the area, we're seeing a lot more of the 2-story.
Yes, Lebanon has needed this price point for move up housing. Like they've had a really solid entry level price point for a while. But I think it's often been difficult for families to move up and still stay in, if they want to stay in town, to maybe find a home as big as what some of these floor plans will offer.
Yeah,
So
especially some of our ones like the Cumberland, the Denali, the Jensen, these ones all have options for like a bedroom downstairs and then bedrooms upstairs. So we're seeing a lot more just the multi-generational living across the board everywhere in the country. We're seeing a lot more of that. So being able to offer that in this area is definitely a huge driver. It's why we're seeing a lot more people is because you just can't find those types of homes or these larger homes in the area.
yeah, and I know someone's going to comment, well, yeah, you can move up, but you just have to move out to the country and it usually has acreage. So, I mean, there's certainly
Right.
caveats to what I'm saying, but
Of course.
yeah, like, and I love I think you said the Denali was the one that accommodates, or maybe also the Jensen,
Mhm.
a main level bedroom for that multi-generational
Yep.
living.
All three
Okay.
of these ones can do that. So it's
So
great.
the Denali, Jensen, and the Cumberland.
Cumberland. Yep.
Okay.
So we offer a lot of flex spaces in our homes. So we're kind of, I don't know if I'm jumping ahead a bit, but
You're good.
we're kind of more of a like semi-custom builder. Is what I like to say. We're kind of that bridge between a production builder and a custom builder. So we are still a production builder. However, we offer so many different like personalization options for people that you can really see two homes, next to each other, right by each other, and they can be completely different on the inside and outside, and you wouldn't know that it's the same home. So a lot of these floor plans offer flex spaces. So that's kind of what I was talking about with that bedroom downstairs. So you've got, formal dining rooms, formal living rooms, office spaces, rec rooms, bedrooms. Those are all different things that we offer just on the first floor and not even getting up into the second floor.
Do you have pictures of maybe some of the interior finishes that people could expect?
Yeah, of course. So let me,
And maybe this is a good opportunity to talk about what sets Fischer Homes apart, maybe from other builders in the area.
yeah. So, like I said, the biggest one is that we are more of that like personalization, semi-custom option. But also we do focus on quality a lot as well. So, I kind of mentioned it, but we really want these homes to last forever. We want you to be able to move into this home and not have to worry about moving out because the value of your home is down or like the neighborhood's getting down or these homes are falling apart. That's just not what we want to see. We want to use the same high-end materials that we use in our other collections of homes in these homes as well. So all of our homes are going to be built the same regardless of the price. We use a lot of the same materials in all of the collections. So when clicking on like a floor plan here on the website, you can see a bunch of the different exteriors that I was talking about. So like this is like the coastal option, but then we also have a modern farmhouse. And then we also have the American Classic. So all of these look so different on the outside. We do allow you to pick all of your colors. So you pick the brick, the stone, trim, door, all of that. So it's not by package, it's truly by, whatever you're feeling. Interior wise. So here's just these aren't like real pictures, but of what our homes look like on the inside. So it looks like this one here, they've got the engineered hardwood. That one we're not seeing a lot of. While we do put that in our models, we're seeing a lot more people go with like vinyl and vinyl plank in all of our collections of homes, not just in this community.
Yeah, vinyl plank as a product is super pet and water friendly. So
Yes.
with 2/3 of American households having pets or young children and things getting dropped, the durability of that product is more favorable to just, I think, the typical life than engineered hardwood is, which is sad because wood is beautiful and you can feel the difference. I mean, maybe some people can't, I can, but
Yeah.
it's also as a product come a long way, I think, in terms of what vinyl used to be in terms of finishes. Like now you can get beveling in it, or some have a little bit of texture to it. So when she says vinyl, if you're not familiar with the vinyl plank, it does give engineered hardwood a run for its money. And I think for the price point, are you guys allowing renters or investors in this community?
As of right now, yes, we are.
Okay. Yeah. So if you are someone who's from out of state looking to make a strategic investment in Lebanon, this could be something to consider, because that Lux vinyl plank flooring is very, very durable. So it would reduce the amount of times you may need to replace the carpet over the life of the time you own the home. So.
Yep. Another thing that we are well known for is the windows. So the number of windows that we offer in the homes, I mean, it varies per home, but you're going to get a lot of natural light in these spaces. So we've got these windows here, and then there's 2 actually in this room. This one has 3. So a lot of these spaces are going to have a lot of the natural light. Which is great, especially if you're backing up to one of those pond or tree sites and you've got that privacy, having like those big, huge windows where you can get all of that light in and not worry about being too close to your neighbor with all of these.
So with Amy, the amount of people now working from home, what does the internet situation look like in this community? Is fiber available? Cat 5, where are things at with that?
Yeah, so I don't know about the fiber. That's still, I don't think it's yet in this area. But we always offer like the Cat 5, 6. Those are always offered both with us, and then we also partner with a home security home automation company, and they offer a lot of that stuff as well. So if anyone's looking for home automation, we do have a lot of options with that.
Great. Which floor plan is this?
So this is the Jensen. This is that model. Just want to show, so this is one of those flex spaces. Again, wanted to point out all the natural light that you get. You could use this as a living room or a dining room. You can have it open up into the family room a little bit more.
On that flex space, Amy, is the standard just a doorway and then you pay to upgrade and add those French doors, or what is
It's just an opening? Yeah. So a lot of the spaces come as in this one in particular, it's a living room and a rec room. So this one back here, and we kind of kept it. This one actually made into a second office, but they're kind of like, so we added the doors to this one, but you could have it open and have it more as like a living room space. So it usually comes open, and then yes, you pay more to kind of close off the space. So this one you can make into a bedroom with a full bath, and you just pay to close off that space and add the bathroom.
Yeah, I cannot wait to see the data on how many households now from COVID will have both, if it's a family with 2 adults, how many households have both adults working from home now? Because that's the situation with my husband and I, and like we strategically bought last summer a home that had a main level bedroom on it because we both needed an office space. So I can't wait for that data to come out to see just how much of the trends are shifting that way, and then new construction data to support that as well. I'm just taking this idea and running with it. Is this spot right here the only place that you could do a full bath on the main level, or could you potentially convert that typical half bath on the main into a full bathroom?
So it depends on the floor plan. It does. Yeah. So in this model, this is the only spot for the half bath or the full bath. The other floor plan, so the Denali, that one actually, in order to get the full bath, you would take that powder room and transform it into a full bath. So with the Jensen, you actually get a half bath as well as a full bath on a main level. Whereas with the Denali, you would just get one or the other. So it's floor plan specific, depending on what people are looking for.
Yeah. Thank you for entertaining that.
Of course.
Okay. So we've talked a bit about the community. Can you refresh how many home sites in total are going to be available?
So once the entire community is all built out, we'll have about 115 homes.
Okay.
We've got about 30 home sites coming soon. So just in our next phase, there'll be 30, but eventually it'll be a total of 115.
And how many sections will you have in total?
It's either 4 or 5. I don't know exactly how they're going to break up the bottom half. They submitted it with 5 to the city, but a lot of times they could change, over the course of the developments and things like that.
Okay, and then walk us through the lot premiums, because I imagine it's not the same cost backing up to the lake with the woods as it is the one across the street.
Right. So I don't yet have pricing for any of these ones, but I can kind of go off of what we had here. So these ones were about 10,000 that backed up to here. So my guess is these will be 10 as well. These ones probably 10, 15 at most. And then some of these other ones, the larger ones over here had like a 5,000 premium. This one here, site 8, has a 0 premium. So it really is going to probably range between 0 and 15,000.
Okay. And then how much on your, like roughly, if someone wanted to upgrade their exterior package to, like, I feel like having seen the home sites or like this type of home design in other communities you've done, I would really encourage people to upgrade their front facades to include more brick or stone, just because if it's all vinyl, this is just my personal opinion. I don't feel like it looks as good as it could. And it depends entirely on like the affordability of obviously what that potential buyer is able to qualify for. So I don't mean to be critical, but just, I think do you know the data for what a buyer would spend roughly in exterior upgrades, or how much those cost typically?
I don't, just because it's very specific for each floor plan, and for the exterior, like, one that they choose. So they all have kind of like different prices associated with it. And honestly, each community is slightly different too with, what's required. Like we have some communities that require more brick and stone. And so those we include in the price. So in this community, it's not required. And I would say we don't have that many people that upgrade the exterior too much. It's more of just choosing, the one that looks best for them. So some people do choose to put their money towards exterior, some put it towards interior. So yeah, we don't have a whole lot of data on, what the average is, just because it changes all the time.
Yeah, and I think the city, when they were trying to see two sides of the coin here, I think the city is trying to make sure that they provide affordable housing. And someone might be laughing at this video, like 300,000 affordable housing, and for new construction, yeah, like there's a lot that's going into those prices nowadays, but or maybe that's not yes to affordable, but that's it's very difficult to build below that number right now. And I think the more restrictions or requirements the city puts on the developer or the builder to provide a certain level of finishes, that will be reflected in the base cost, which increases that entry point. So I think Lebanon's trying to be strategic about, especially the different community or developments that are coming that way, thinking about workforce attraction. Do we have housing that, based on the number of jobs that are coming in and what those are going to be paying, can people afford to live here? So, if my cosmetic suggestion was just more of one of aesthetics, but obviously if someone only has 30 grand to work with, they're more likely going to put it on the things that they're going to enjoy rather than the exterior front. But
right. And new construction, we see a lot of people coming to new construction because a few things, but the biggest one is they either can't find what they're looking for out on the market. It just doesn't exist. There's not enough homes, and they're looking for something different. So they decide to build, or that there's truly no other option. And there is just not enough housing in the area. And so new construction truly is the only option. So I think Lebanon still, even though the market has shifted a bit, there's still not enough housing in the area for everything and all the growth that is projected. So that's why people look at the new construction. Of course, there's going to be other more affordable options than new construction. We're not trying to be the most affordable because, building today is of course more expensive than it was building 10, 15, 20 years ago. So those homes aren't going to be as expensive as they are today. But if they were building the same homes now, they'd actually be well over what these prices are. So it's just crazy to think about.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the thing I want to leave our audience with is I can't, my mind is kind of blown, Amy, that this particular product is available in the location that it is, just knowing what's coming. And obviously we don't have a crystal ball. We have a lot of people saying the sky is going to fall next year with a great recession or whatever. And I don't want to downplay any economic instability that's there, but real estate is historically one of the safest investments that you can make, because it's an asset that you can touch, you can burn it down, you can rent it down, you can redevelop it. There's all it's not like it's a stock where it's entirely based on people's confidence in that company or product or service that's out of your control. Obviously we want to make smart strategic investments. And there's different ways to go about that. But I just think with everything that locally is going on, that this is just such a pleasant addition to the area. And sorry, I'm trying to not go way over on time, but for this community, obviously we only have one section that we're looking at here. Do you know if there's going to be, if someone can't take advantage of this right now, are there going to be other lot premiums that either include the woods or the ponds, or do you kind of have an insight as to that total lot map?
Yeah, so I mean, this is the only one I have, but I know you had it pulled up on your screen. I can stop sharing if you want to pull that one up that you had. There's trees all surrounding that whole right side of our community. So even into the later sections, so section 4, section 5, those ones are going to include some of those tree sites as well. Yeah, so look at all of those trees. So our community is really going to go to the right and all the way down, and it will connect, I think, to that other neighborhood. I don't think it will connect on Washington, but it will connect to the left on that neighborhood. So all of those trees along the right, and we're currently building the ones up on the north side there, but there's going to be plenty of sites that are private with this community. Okay.
Yeah, I think, yeah. Do you know if there's going to be any other retention ponds or anything?
I don't,
Okay.
only because I think there might be one other one planned, but I don't want to say it's for sure happening until they truly develop it. So until it's fully developed, I won't know exactly, but I know that there'll be tree sites. We don't remove trees in an area unless we actually have to in order to build the home. We do like keeping as much nature around as possible when we build our homes.
Yeah, no, I know I'm putting you on the hot seat with that one. So anyway, well, Amy, in the last minute, 30 seconds, what encouragement can you give a buyer right now who might be on the fence? Maybe they recognize real estate's a good thing. Maybe they're kind of nervous about the market or interest rates. Maybe just give them some encouragement or insight right now.
Yeah, of course. I mean, there's a lot of negativity going on. But I mean, the good thing is, I mentioned a little bit, we like to build our homes that will last. And a lot of times, when you are buying a home, you're not buying it to sell it, you're buying it to live in it. And my job is truly to find a home that is something that is exactly what you're looking for, not something that you're going to just go and sell in a year or 2 years and make a profit off of it. While it is a great investment, it's truly something that, you need to make sure it's exactly what you're looking for. And with new construction, and through myself, I'd be happy to help and guide you through that process of picking the correct home site and everything, on top of it being a good investment. So.
Yes, I agree. And I think if you're, if you as a buyer have been watching interest rates and, I think, especially I had a family that I was working with a number of years ago who, God love them. I was dealing with cultural challenges where, he was from an Asian country that, was very corrupt in the government. And every particular property, it seemed like he was convinced that there was like rigging going on or things were fixed. His wife joked at one point that he thought soccer games, like a kid's soccer game, was rigged just because of how corrupt his previous experience was. And where I'm going with this was we would regularly look at properties and want to make offers, but because he knew what they had been going for 6 months or a year prior, he wanted to make his offers based on those numbers. And it was a constant challenge of, I think, just what buyers are experiencing today. And I talk about him with great respect. It's very, very difficult. I think when you know that, this house used to be worth $330 and now it's worth $365. And I think as a buyer, it can be very difficult to wrap your mind around that or be comfortable paying more. So yes, the market has certainly appreciated, which is very good. It's in response to us not having enough housing and a growing population where a lot of people do want to live here. But I think it's also just really good to, and the metaphor that I'm making with that is in regards to interest rates, where I know for a while we had them in the 2s, 3s, and now they're 6, 7, depending on who you talk to. But my encouragement to buyers is to have those conversations with lenders. They've come up with some products that I think are going to be a good solution. There's discussions about 2-1 buy downs or having a slightly adjustable interest rate for a short term. And I know a lot of us are like, adjustable interest rates. Like, we don't want to go back into what facilitated the last recession with housing, but I will give encouragement that lenders are very particular about how they go about that now. I actually just had a buyer close on a loan that was that type, and it's all spelled out for how frequently that interest rate could rise, and the cap that it would be. And so I guess my encouragement in a nutshell, or a long-winded nutshell, is just for you as a buyer to, if you're nervous about taking a step forward, feel free to have conversations with myself as a realtor or a local loan officer who can run those numbers for you, because I think that data will give you the best insight to move forward and make the most informed decision for your family. Don't wait until you have 60 days left on your lease. Like, give yourself plenty of time, because sometimes your debt to income ratio could be slightly too high, or your credit might not be quite as high as you think it is. And those conversations just equip you to be able to go buy a house or make an offer on a lot and get to work with Amy, because she's great. So
thank you. Yeah, just starting a conversation doesn't mean you're getting forced into buying a home, but really just getting you prepared for when you are ready. So.
Yes. Okay. So Amy, what's the best way for people to connect with you?
Well, probably call, text, or email. I am available on all 3 ways. I can share my information with you, so you can share that with everybody. I do virtual and in-person appointments. So whatever is the easiest for people, I'm happy to change my schedule around for that.
Sure. So if you found this video valuable and you would like to work together, I can help you as a buyer or seller with buy, sell, invest, build, global relocation, renting. I like to joke, anyone living and breathing of sound mind over the age of 18, I can help in real estate anywhere around the world. But especially if you found this video valuable and you go on Amy's website, please mention it so that I could potentially get credit for that sale, unless you have another realtor that you'd like to work with. It's just, I hate having to do that sales pitch, but if I don't say something and educate people, then it's easy to fall through the cracks. Yeah. So But Amy, thank you for your time. We'll certainly include all of your contact information in the description of this video. And
Oh, thank you.
yeah, have a great afternoon.
You too.